too. It's too.
Yo, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Jesus. It's gonna be one of those fucking shows today, man. It's gonna be
Is
one of
it?
yeah. Well, welcome everybody to Reasonable Wrestling. It feel like Friday the 13th, but it's Sunday the 13th. What's going on, everybody? It's Rollah Ayatollah, my tag team partner, best friend, Chidi, aka CT. What's happening with you, brother?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I am Chidi Bang, and we're here to talk to you and bring to you the underground of professional wrestling. Our raw, cold hard opinions on professional wrestling in the week that was in professional wrestling. And
Excuse me.
I'm not here to change anybody's opinion. I'm not here to regurgitate opinions of others. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I'm just here to give my opinion, and I don't care if you like it or not. Whatever. It is what it is. But if you're here to see that and hear my unfiltered opinions on professional wrestling, including AEW Wrestle Dream, stick around and hit the like button. Follow us on RW Podcast 1 on Twitter, and definitely follow us on all the medias of socialness outside of that, including TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everything else at Regional Wrestling Podcast. Just search it and you should find us. Now, let's get into the business. Last night was AEW Wrestle Dream. And as always, AEW comes, with a lot of really good wrestling, in my opinion. And has a lot of potential, but for me, always seems to miss the mark. And I'm getting to the point where I am fed up watching AEW and expecting anything different. And maybe I should not. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not the one that should be watching this show. We are now losing Brian Danielson full time as a wrestler. Props to him. He is arguably the best wrestler in the world, and it is the best wrestler in the world to most people. So losing him and on the end of his career, I just want to give him his props for everything he's done and sacrificed for this business. And I look forward to seeing the next phase of his career or whatever. But take the time off, get well, and just take time and be a dad, be a father, be a husband, and just do you. I'm just glad he's getting his time. You got something to say?
No, your godson just walked in here. That's it.
Oh, shout out to Christian. But yeah, man. When I look at Wrestle Dream as a whole, man, my takeaway from it is I'm learning my what I like wrestling for, and in the sense of when I look at like AEW, I look at AEW and I kind of feel the same way I feel about J. Cole, where it's like, as technically sound as you are in the ring, it's not enough. As good as the matches can be, it's not enough for me. And as technically sound J. Cole is at rapping, it's not enough for me. Although I love what he does as a technical rapper. What matters to me is the message, consistency, story, along with the technical aspect of the art form you're doing. Like the technical aspect of the art form you're doing matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. And before, back in the day when I was younger, I used to think that maybe that's all that matters. As long as you are a great, phenomenal artist in the ring, the people should be able to get it and love the art form for what it is. And I still, in some ways, believe that for certain matches and certain match types. But when it comes to certain moments and certain stories and certain people that you give the ball to, in a sense, it requires more thought, more precise direction, in a sense. And I feel like we lose that a lot in AEW. And taking advantage of the moments that they have in AEW. I think is what I have an issue with. Taking advantage of the potential to make a star out of certain people, taking advantage of the potential to tell a certain type of story, and they've hit the mark on certain occasions, and I've been so pleased with them. And there are other occasions I'm like, how can you miss this? You know, and that's what hurts me. That's why it's this sudden title Broken Dreams, because when AEW started, I was genuinely we all needed a space for more wrestling that was a contrary to what we were seeing in WWE. And as time went on, I saw potential for it to continue to grow and become something that is a viable place for some unique storytelling, unique matches, and be a lot more of a competitor in a sense. Um, And I think what's the problem is I'm the problem. I think that I'm the guy expecting something more that I'm never gonna get, and I think that it's not for me at this point. And I don't mean to be completely negative, but I gotta tell you the truth. I'm at the point where I'm not gonna be watching AEW. I feel like I think I'm wasting my time. I'm gonna chime in maybe for the people that I like, the Swerves. I like Brian Danielson if when he comes back. MJF, I'm a fan of his if he gets things right. Not always, but there's a couple guys on there, Will Ospreay that I really fuck with, and if they're in a right story, I'll tune back in and check it out. If Bobby comes, obviously I'll tune in for that. But
So it sounds like you're gonna be tuning in because, like,
but it's not gonna be on a regular basis. Like if they're in a good story, like it's not like I'm just gonna tune in because Bobby's here. If Bobby's in there and in something that I want to see, if Swerve is doing something that's worthwhile, and he is, that was the best part of the show to me. The Swerve segment, he did a great way of setting the stage for where things are gonna go with him, and I enjoy that. I enjoyed Brian Danielson's match with John Moxley. I enjoyed Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Takeshita, Jay White, and Adam Page that had a good match.
Mariah May and Willow had a good match.
Okay.
It's not the result that you wanted, but they had a good match. I mean, as you're shouting out good matches, like, that's a good match.
Yeah. It's something. Like it's just I'm so fed up with how they used Willow Nightingale going into the match that I wasn't even engaged in the match that much.
That's the same way they did with Jay White, though. I put her. I mean, I don't. Okay, so as you went off, let me kind of just interject for a little bit one time down. So you can. You can have your own opinion, inform them the way you can, but I would push back and say the way that they use Jay White is the same way they use Willow Nightingale. It's frustrating because Jay White had no business when you saying capturing the moment, making superstars, whatever the case may be. It was MJF, Jay White, Roman Reigns at the top of professional wrestling during the pandemic. Jay White, the catalyst over there in New Japan, was making me go out and seek goddamn New Japan matches with the way that he can, because he's a English speaking man, even though he has a accent over here in the United States. He speaks really good English, cuts really good promos. He's a really decent worker. When my whole thing is, as you're saying what you're saying about AEW, it sounds like AEW captured you in what they just put on, meaning that they have the ability. And the only reason why I stopped you when you was like the men's matches that you had, the men's matches that you said were good matches. Willow and Mariah May was a good match. And even though that their story and how they use how they use Willow Nightingale might not be the best for you, but every match that you like had a character that has been misutilized for the last 6 months.
But that's my point. Here's the thing. I just said to you, the match itself, the technical aspect of getting in there and putting on a great match is not enough. That's my point. Like you're speaking to my point. You don't let me finish. Like I was gonna say, yes, all these were good matches and everything like that. The Mariah May and Willow Nightingale match, you say it was good. I was checked out, bro. I'm not gonna be honest with you. Maybe it was. I was checked out. So I was checked out of a lot of matches during this. When I'm watching, and then you bring me fucking hologram, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I literally said to you in a text message, like, yo, I feel like I'm watching WCW. Like, I feel like I'm watching it as a chore. You
But
know,
to your
in a sense.
but to your point, so I just want to add on to your original point. Hangman and Jay White was the first match of the night.
Yeah.
Mariah May and Willow Nightingale was the second match following it. So as you enjoyed the first match, you immediately are checked out in the second match, and I just compared the two components in the matches as similar. Now you may not see it the same way, but when you say I'm checked out, but the matches were good. Willow had great false finishes in the match. It had you to be like, they're gonna pull a string. Well, I know they're not gonna pull a string. It's one of those matches.
No, I not me. Like I was checked out. When I tell you I was checked out, I was checked out, and that's just me. Maybe for you, you like, oh, this is a good match, and you were engaged. Even if they have a good match, I don't care. Like I don't care. Even Jay White and Adam Page, I did not care. Although they're great in the ring, it's the first match of the night. All right, tune in, check it out. Oh, okay, they're getting busy. They're really great performers. I expected them to get busy. Willow Nightingale, Mariah May, great performers in their own right. But the way they are utilized is so frustrating to me because it's like, man, it shouldn't be like this watching this show. All four of
Well,
them are in talent. I
why?
shouldn't feel this way. Go ahead.
No. I'm here. You said why should I feel this way? I was about to cut you off and say why do you feel like this when we've had what do I call AEW? Now you may not have wanted to accept it.
Glorified indie.
You're putting yourself in a situation where you have expectations for something or somebody that can't come through, and now you're disappointed. But I've always viewed the utilization and the talent and the show and whatever AEW is presenting themselves to be as a televised independent show with a budget. And I never get myself again like MLW
Well,
is the
you gotta
same.
understand something. You worked MLW. You worked at Indie, so you know how they book. You know how they set the matches up. You know exactly what it is. Me, I dabbled into the Indies and everything. I wasn't an indie goer where I went to all these indie shows. So when you give me a television show on a television station with a television product, I expect something out of it. I expect a little bit more out of that, and I get that some. And the fact of the matter is, sometimes they give me it. Like that's why I've been around expecting things
That's
to
why I
improve.
said like MLW.
But yeah, sometimes they give me what I'm looking for at a TV though. I'm not saying I'm not like and I'm talking about AEW. Like they give me
No, that's what I'm
good
saying.
stories
Yeah.
sometimes. So yeah, I do get suckered in, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're going the right direction with certain things. Maybe they turning Chris Statlander for a reason. I'm like, all right, let me give it some time. And then they go right back to what the fuck they were doing before, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
But this is what I just said. It is
You just
MLW with a big budget on TV. Yes,
you and
they might give you Swerve and Low Key. They might give you Swerve and Matt Riddle. They might give you goddamn. They might hook you with Serena De La Renta and the Lucha Brothers. Like they might give you little bits and pieces, but it is still niggas coming in on a Saturday in a hotel room. What we doing today? How many minutes we got? All right, and they leaving right after. Like that is
yeah.
exactly what AEW is. That's
and
exactly
and
what
and
AEW is.
and, and, and that's where I might have to check out because it's not enough for me, and that's what I'm to my point is that you being a glorified indie is just not enough for Chidi. It's not enough for Chidi Bang to sit down for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever long, and watch your product
No,
at this
you're
point.
right. You're right.
You know,
You're
it's
not the PWG fan base. You're not the ROH fan base. You're not the hardcore. I mean, you've watched TNA, but again, like you're not. You know what I mean? Like this, they
even TNA is produced like a better show. There's some congruency in the stories. Like there's and it's not like hey, we're gonna heat up a story for 2 weeks and give you the blow off in the third week. They don't do that in even TNA. Like that's crazy to me how they this past fucking 4 months has been these hot shot feuds that have no consequences, rhyme or reason. It's been going on for the entire summer. Now it's in the fall time, and I'm like, I'm done with the AEW hot shot bullshit. I'm tired of it. Now what Swerve is doing with Chris Nana and MVP is taking its time, bro. They're sitting back and they're really telling something here over weeks, and and I'm like, all right, we'll see where this goes.
It's been 2-3 weeks, and that's about to be hot. So what I
And they haven't even done a match yet, and that's what I love about it. Like where I see that going is something I'll tune in when something happens. I'm not going to be tuning in on a regular basis. I might check it out on YouTube, that type of shit. And then if there's then if they build it enough where I'm like, okay, I need to tune into the show, then I'll come back to the show. From this point forward, I am not watching AEW consistently. Like as a viewer, I'm not putting myself through this anymore. Like they've given me so much. Like the last time I was really really excited for AEW, bro, was the beginning of this year. You know, beginning of this year was where I was like, all right, there's so much potential. They got people coming in, all types of stuff. But it's been a long time. I gave them enough time to say, all right, maybe it's not for me. But the people that I do like, I'll tune in when they're given when they're showcased.
I mean, but to me, that's all of. I'm gonna be, bro. That's all of wrestling, and I don't want to make it like you say. I don't want to.
That's for
Like,
you, not to me. That is not all wrestling to me. For sure, maybe for you, but not for me.
well, I would say like, yeah, WWE was a chore watching when we didn't have anything to watch for because they weren't giving us anything. Like that is that, and we watched it and did segment counting and commercial count. Like it was a chore getting through. So in a sense, everything has its lows to me. Nothing is consistently going to be great. It's 52 weeks out of the year to have great, compelling television. We've talked about it. It's very difficult to do. And I know we might armchair quarterback it and say how easy it is. We like the boom, 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 boom. But again, we are just two people.
No,
Like you
when you're
said,
in it, yeah, it's not easy. I completely get it, but I'm not just armchair quarterbacking off of 1 week and saying, oh, they didn't do good this week. I'm doing it over the course of a whole year,
I'm
basically.
not saying you're doing it off for 1 week, but I am also still saying, like we just, as I just said, we have done this podcast 6 years, right? And in comparison to a company that is 50 years in the making, there was 2 years straight. We got on this motherfucker. We like, I ain't watching Raw. I ain't watching SmackDown. You watch Raw. I watch SmackDown. You watch SmackDown. I watch Raw. Hey, fuck it. We're just gonna watch NXT. WWE get for 2
Those were the
years,
days.
bro, nigga. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't. To your point, you have your right to feel how you feel about it. I've always never put my eggs in a basket for me to make them on a pedestal of, again, 5 years. Me and you, it's a long time, but it's not a long time, right? Business, uh, lighting still, nigga. I got a goddamn lamp over and over them. Like, it's 5 years a long time and not a long time to have your shit together. So even with resources, I feel you like, nah, nigga, if I was a billionaire, I'll have my shit lined up. Yeah, but also you'll have people doing exactly what they're doing right now, taking advantage of you, trying to see how sweet you is, trying to make you like there are always different devils for the different levels as far as what makes you kind of succeed and compel. Like me and you, we feel like we should hit. Me and you, we are as good as a fucking podcast as anything, right? And AEW in the same way feels like, nigga, there's not a lot of wrestling promotions in the world. We're and we not clicking. But
Well, shout out to
there
them
was
getting their
a time,
deal. I mean,
there
they're
was a time
clearly
when they were
doing enough.
clicking.
Yeah, no, they're shout out to them getting their deal. They're clearly doing enough to continue to do business. So shout out to them and doing that. But I'm not here to sugarcoat or give any excuses for AEW anymore. I'm not here to make comparisons to WWE or to us. I'm here to just say I am done until this thing gets better for me. What the and I'm not going to go into detail about the things that I really didn't like on this show because what's the point? I've been doing that for a while. But I will just say that this show was a letdown for me, not because of the wrestlers or the wrestling, but because of the I guess expectations that I put on AEW, and maybe it's not the product that
Can I ask you a
I
question?
want to see out
Can
of
I,
wrestling.
can I ask you a question? Even we've had the recordings of this podcast. And even leading up, again, I'm not taking. Don't again. You talking to me? You ain't talking to the match. You talking to me. I know you ain't talking about 1 week of wrestling. Nigga, you didn't like the fucking build up to the damn show because it was after 3 consecutive shows that were pay-per-views. Like, so the expect, and that's what I'm asking you. Like, the from All In to All Out to Wrestle Dream, they haven't given you
Grand
anything.
Slam.
The Grand Slam, right? Like the 5-year anniversary. They have been throwing a lot at you and seeing, hey, can anything fucking stick right now? And I've been noticing that. So I'm not, as you said, I'm making an excuse. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, going back to 52 weeks, and you said it's been a bad year. Okay, it's been a bad 52 weeks. Nigga, you had 4 snaps last year, and it was a bad 52 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like it can roll down here really, really fast with expectations being through the fucking roof.
And the funny thing about it, my expectations are not like, oh, do what WWE is doing. My expectations are things that you've gotten right. It's what you've done in the past. You know, it's a lot of things that just are.
It's hard to strike lightning twice, bro. Like I'm watching the Deion Cole joint with Shannon. I try not to only watch Shay interviews if it's salacious, right? I try not to watch Shay interviews based on.
I watch all of them. I watch all of them too. Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm watching Deion Cole, and he was like, "Yo, people ask me when I'm coming on here, who I want to talk about." Like Shannon's platform has been co-opted with niggas trying to recreate a moment that only one nigga can do. So to AEW, nigga, MJF is and CM Punk can only happen with MJF and CM Punk. Hangman Page and Swerve can only happen with Hangman Page and Swerve, right? So you can't recreate those moments.
Bro. Sorry, bro. I gotta stop with you there because.
All right, man. Okay, man.
Because you can have better stories with those same people. You know, MJF and Swerve still haven't had a real feud. You know, like those two guys should be doing something together. How I don't want because I'm saying the same thing. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but come on, like, yo, you have Wardlow. What the fuck? Like, what? You know, and then.
Bro, them niggas not trying to be there, bro. So I'm not about to. Yo, it's the same thing. Okay, bro. I'm not gonna keep
Right
talking
now,
about
Wardlow. No,
Ricky
but no
Starks don't
vibes.
want to be there. Get out. You know what I'm saying? Like let's work with the rock. Let's work. You're
right. That's why I was like,
I got 3 offensive linemen out. He was like, hey, you just gonna have to make smarter, bitch. What? Out.
sure, but that's my point though. There's always free agency, yo. Just because you have some guy that's not here anymore, bro, you can make something happen with the guys you got, and you misuse them.
Nigga, they got Kip Sabian, dude.
Listen, it's better, and maybe it's better than your backups. You know, maybe it's better than your backups. Who knows? Like, use what you got. Yo, all right, Ricky Starks has been out. Warlow's been out. Like, why is Jay White not a bigger thing? Like, you know, and it's just
we just said it. Like he got like, Jay White came in the game and got in the wrong feud.
They're trying right now, and I'm gonna give them their grace and we'll see where it goes. But I'm tired of that.
Let me just hold on. Let me just say this. You say why Swerve and MJF hasn't happened? Because maybe Tony Khan is scared of throwing that corner out because when Jay White came in and he got in the ring with fucking MJF, what happened? Everybody can't fucking go toe to toe, blow for blow with the nigga that you say is the guy.
And then like you got Ricochet, and then you got Will Ospreay, right? And you know, and I enjoy their matches, and I enjoyed the match they had last night with Konosuke Takeshita. I told you Takeshita, I like him, and I want him to have a championship, so I'm glad he won that match. But there's a longer story to be told with Swerve and Ricochet that I feel like we're never gonna get. I feel like this has just been, hey man, hey bro, let's fight. I mean, not Swerve and Ricochet. Ricochet and Will Ospreay. Yeah, I think it's just been like Swerve and Ricochet.
They did an interview. They did an interview with Renee Paquette leading up to the match. The thing they had to sit down and they talked about it, and it's been 8 years, and Will Ospreay. So my thing to you is like
This is friendly
you've already
competition.
been checked out, so you're just making it. You're just saying you haven't been watching a lot
No,
of them.
listen, it's not just about them just sitting down and doing an interview, bro. Like, how do you make me want to see this match? You don't just have them backstage and do an interview and then do one on on the 50th anniversary, and that's it, and it's a draw. Like the choices they've made and decisions they've made by throwing that corner out immediately, right? Ricochet's been here for what, 6 weeks maybe? Is like, come on, like,
So
you know, so
I'm going back and forth with you because like this. You're speaking on it for you, and that's the only perspective that you can speak on. But you say what makes me want to watch the match the minute the nigga signed the contract. That's what other fans are talking about. You might not be in that class of fans, but when
right,
you ask
my point.
what's the reason for the match, the other motherfuckers. Because let me tell you this, AEW tried to play that long game shit before, nigga. Injuries didn't happen. Goddamn suspensions didn't happen. Backstage. So as you say, next man up. Well, nigga, that done fucked up the past 6 months build that I've been doing. Like that done fucked up the 6 month plan that I had ahead. Right?
Tired of
So
that, man.
okay, hold on. You're saying you're tired of that right now? Luchasaurus may not be a big part of the thing right now. But why haven't we seen Christian cash in yet? Because Luchasaurus is part of the fucking story. So you might say you don't care about that, but that matters. Luchasaurus right now is on a damn health scare. Don't want to put it too much out there, but fluid in your lungs, pneumonia, can't and Godspeed to him. But when you say that, I'm tired of hearing that. Tony Khan is also tired of fucking writing and pen with an eraser. Because at the same time, it's so many audibles. And how many audibles you get to run before it's a false start in the game, my nigga? It ain't that many. So I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But if you come out in a hold on, peek this, bro. If you come out in your fucking 3-4 pitch buck, right? And you fucking work the hold on, pay attention, and you the safety. You got my slant. Your corner got my motherfucker. I mean, you got my flat. Your corner got my slant. You know my offensive line. What is the fucking audible I can run? What's the audible I can run?
A drag.
And do what? I gotta wait for the nigga to clear. Are you
Yeah.
blitzing me? Okay, so it's a dead play. Either I have a dead play, a pick, or a false start. So I'm telling you,
You
those
can get
are
out the
bad.
pocket. Sometimes you gotta get out the pocket and take the fuck off, man. I'm sick and tired of people making excuses for AEW. Like I'm tired of that shit.
But they have though. They
God, yo.
hold on. They have. When Swerve lost the title almost a month ago, correct? A month and a half ago. It's been 6 weeks. He's instantaneously back in something that you care about. Instantaneously. It didn't take long. So what I'm trying to tell you is not an excuse. 6 weeks is not a long time, bro. 6 weeks is
But
not.
my point is not just about Swerve though. It's about
I
AEW as a
know.
whole.
I
I
know.
can't come to a show for one story alone, and I get it. They're a variety show, and if you whatever you want, you could just take it. It's like a buffet. I get what they're trying to do. I get it. It ain't for me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check Swerve's segments out on YouTube, and then if I need to see the whole thing, go check out the show and fast forward to his part. That's the type of shit that I'm gonna do because it's like we got DVR. You know, it's not like I have other things I can do during
Yeah, but
AEW
I'm
being
not.
on.
I understand, but I'm gonna be honest, bro. We go to even if we go to a goddamn show live, my nigga. I'm not intently watching everything for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours as long as I'm there. It's a piss break. I'm trying to figure out a smoke break. It's a food break. And we figuring out which matches, what characters, what niggas that we've. So
No,
yes,
that's you. That's you. Me, if I pay, I sit there. You see me at NXT. I try to watch the entire show. I'm even the people that we don't even
we
know. I'm
went to
like,
go
all right.
smoke in Dallas, bro. We went to go get a drink at WrestleMania, bro. Come on now. Like, come
I
on,
mean,
bro.
yeah, that's WrestleMania.
I
It's
know,
hell.
but what I'm saying is, it's in comparison to a pay per view show. It's comparison to a Wrestle Dream.
We had 13 matches. Okay. Yeah,
No,
like I'm just saying, bro. It's yeah, you're right. It is a comparison, but what does it have to do with what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is
Wheeler Yuta returning doesn't make me excited.
I understand
Adam Cole and MJF returning with Daniel Garcia doesn't get me excited.
I
Like,
feel
these
you,
things don't matter to me.
no, I understand you, but what I am also saying, bro, is that
It should, though.
WWE, everything WWE not fucking hitting. So I know you're not talking about the comparison, my nigga, but like,
I'm
dog.
not.
I
Speak
just
for
said,
yourself.
hold
I'll
on.
say
I
that.
just said, I
Speak
know
for
you're
yourself.
not fucking comparison. I am. I know you're not, but I am. So I'm saying to you, everything in WWE don't hit. So as
For
I
you.
said, I just said that, bro.
Then why are we screaming about it? You're talking about yourself. You're your opinion.
I'm telling you again. 13 matches. I'm not sitting through 13. Nobody's giving me 13 things that I fucking care about to watch them intently. So I'm saying for me and you, there's a difference. I'm telling you that. So I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you, nobody,
yes, there's a difference.
No, bro. Even NFL gives me 13 games, nigga. I'm not watching all 13. There's only a certain amount of intensive games that I'm turning into that I care about. That's my point.
So you agree with me on how I'm going to watch the show. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm telling you, there's again, to your point of the expectation of what it is for a show that you're watching. Everything in a variety show, which you already know is a variety show, isn't going to hit to you because you're not a variety. So that's my point of where I'm having you talk about everything about what you're saying is true to you. But if you understand that it's a variety show, then you also have to understand that all of the variety is not going to be something that you like.
Yeah, and with AEW for a while, I've known that. So I'm not going to even debate that. You're right. My thing is that now, because we have streaming, I'm not watching your fucking show waiting for my time. Because when it comes to the variety, if I gotta wait, oh, this little part right here I like, then wait and be like, oh, all I liked was this little part right here, and maybe a little bit of this. All I can do is go to YouTube, get that little part, and get the little part, and like, all right, I'm tuning in for that. Or I can wait till the whole show's over and just fast forward to those parts. That's what I'm talking about right now.
I hear you on that, and I just want to know
it's not the majority of it I don't fuck with. Like, majority of it, WWE, majority of it I like. So majority of it I'll sit down for. Majority of their pay-per-views I'll sit down and be like, yo, I can't wait for this match. And then maybe I'll take a break on something, and it's just like one thing. It's like it's a complete reverse. And I don't want to compare because obviously 50 years in the game, 6 or 5 years in the game. I'm not trying to say there should be like WWE. I'm saying that from now on, I gotta be selective of how I watch AEW. I don't want to come here and complain about it every single week because it makes stupid decisions.
I get you on that, but that's what I was trying to argue to you is that we've been, like you said, like those were the days. You have to, in a way, we're just repeating it in a different company and have a different feel to it because you feel as if AEW should have learned from their lessons. A 5-year-old that I have a legit 5-year-old, they do not learn from their mistakes. And a company that's 5 years old, I hear what you're saying, but we've had this argument 3 years ago, 4 years ago, about when there was only one stick in the game and we had only one thing to talk about. And we was like, bro, Roman Reigns is getting dog food poured on him, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times are we going to see the New Day and goddamn Usos? Like, where's the women's division? Where's Charlotte? Like, there are lows in a company, which I'm allowing you to feel like you have. But what I'm saying is that the option to be selective in your viewing it's always been available for you. And I understand that's not how you do things. But what I'm saying is that me and you are in the same vein as we're selective with our time. We're selective of what it is that we do. Wrestling is a big enough part, but not a big enough part that we're wasting our fucking time doing.
And I can't just force myself to find the silver lining all the time with them. And that's what my point is. My point is that I feel like when I watch AEW, I'm forced to try to find the silver lining a lot of the times on every angle, every story. And I'm like, yo, all you have to do is tweak it like this, and it's perfect almost. Like when you have such talents like Willow Nightingale, um, Tony Storm, Mercedes Monet, Chris Statlander, the way they've used those women over the past couple of years, past year, I would say they all four should be major stars by now. I can only say Mercedes
What's
feels
a
like a
major
star.
star though? What's a major star when AEW is not in comparison to WWE to make major stars?
I
So what's
think
a major star?
okay, Willow Nightingale should not be going into a match this time of the year with us all believing that she's going to lose going into the fight. Right now, that match should be her to me, her defending the AEW Women's Championship, and maybe we'll see where she goes because the excitement that was around her at the time earlier this year, I feel they should have capitalized it. I think that Mariah May is cool and all, and they had a story they want to tell, and God bless them, they told it. A lot of fans enjoyed the Mariah May stuff with Tony Storm. I was okay. I was a little bit lukewarm on it, but I get they wanted to tell a certain type of story. So they're now making Mariah May when Willow Nightingale's been here for a minute, and the fans are just waiting for her to be the main, person in front and like in the forefront. Obviously, you had the return of Britt Baker. She's now gone again. Mercedes Monet came and she felt like she was going to be feeling like a bigger star in the sense of, you know, um, lifting the tide of the women's roster, giving it more substantive stories and substantive matches, and it feels like it's just been coasting since she got here. So when I talk about bigger stars, I mean people should be anticipating the women's stories on your show a little bit more than they have, and and people should be talking about them more. They're not doing that now.
Bro,
Yes,
this
I've been here before.
2019. Yeah, I know. I was just about to say this sounds just like 2019.
So at the end of the day, I can't sit back and just hold back on them if I'm going to say the same thing about WWE when they weren't doing this. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Whether you want to say it's 2019 or not, it is what it is. Is how I feel about the product as we stand here today. But there's no disputing that they could have capitalized way better on the women's division and where they've gone. Mara May is cool and all, but to me,
You keep saying Mariah May is cool and all, but Mariah May is somebody that is Austin Theory, my nigga. Like Austin Theory's cool and all, but they pushed him. It didn't work. And then they got off of him. So you gotta, but a nigga, a head coach, a GM, a president, a owner, they gonna do what the fuck they want to do first before they realize it don't work. So I'm not again about and to your
you're
point,
right.
if a subset of fans say, yo, we dig that, I get a little ego boost. I'm like, I didn't do completely. Now it's when we completely say you fucked up. And I think completely everybody was like, nah, Swerve need to be. And again, that they struck when the iron was hot. Now, to your point, we asked how many irons can you strike at the same time?
Two.
I guess you can say it's only two because I mean to your like real shit.
At least
Being
for
real.
AEW, it's been two.
No,
Like
I'm being honest too. Like yo, when honestly, like WWE's hot. WWE's hot, but legitimately when you're getting behind one thing to boost that, which Swerve was, that's Cody-esque, right? Nobody's fucking touching Cody. There's other people worth. We talking about Jay, we talking about LA Knight, we talking about Gunther, we talking about Sammy, we can even talk about Roman, right? But nigga, when that rocket was on Cody, well, nobody fucking seeing Cody. You know what I'm saying? So I do see like when they did strike with Swerve, they put all the eggs in the basket. And to your point, when Cody won the title, you said, hey, he needs to be done with the bloodline shit. The nigga been with the bloodline since goddamn Mania, right?
yeah, he
So
had a couple of
what?
diversions with people, and then
Right. So
AJ
what you
Styles and all that stuff. But then
exactly? So
really, the bloodline came right back around. And that was the main storyline.
exactly,
You know,
to your point, and I know you're not doing a comparison. I am. So
yeah, I'm hearing.
when I'm seeing the similarities of mother, why both of y'all?
It's okay, man. I can take a soul shot if you need it.
Now, what I'm saying is, what the point that I was trying to get to was, we're talking about expectations, and me and you are so much aligned that I thought that you had caught up to speed with the expectations, because I was let down with wrestling in general in 2019, 2020. When we talked about Naomi, we talked about Bobby. When me and you had the
But
conversation,
when they change, you change.
when
So
they
whenever AEW changed, I was like, oh shit. Even with the Hangman Page and Swerve just a couple months ago, all out, I love that match. Although it was gruesome and everything, I came on this podcast, gave him all the praise in the world.
you want to know how me and you are, bro? This is how I know. Remember when Hangman won the fucking title? We did the show live at your apartment on Brandywood, my nigga, and you said, "And what?" And I'm like, "You're the problem." They build the nigga up. He did the whole, why was he in a tag with Kenny Murray? They were trying, they have been too true to themselves as telling a story and how they want to tell a story. And all along the while, you've been like, nah, nigga, that's not how I like my stories. And they're like, well, this is how we tell
No,
stories.
I
You're like,
gave them props. I gave them props for
I know
that.
you gave them props for the type. No. You gave them props for but you said, and what next with Adam? Because you also didn't believe in, although they told a pretty good story, they built a pretty good character, you're like, now what?
You can't do that to me. It's not fair because I had way more nuance in that conversation. I can't remember everything about it right now, but it wasn't just like, oh yeah, fuck the fucking title picture.
No.
And I was telling you the story about Hangman. I remember explaining to you why there's some substance behind Hangman, what he's been going through, and when he won it, I was like, okay, cool. What's next? Because I want to see certain other stars being made because they spent like a year and a half building that guy. You know,
now that's what I'm trying to get to you.
as a company, I was saying, and well, not him.
No, but that's what that's what that's what we're talking about. The company. I have always known that they have blown up their resources getting to that moment. There is no and what's next after you climax. I've noticed that. So that goes back to my point. Realize that when they nut, nigga, ain't no round two. It's the covers. It's goddamn. They going to, bro. What are you talking about? These niggas getting the baby wipes, the pack. They calling it Uber, nigga, and they texting the nigga one time down, nigga. They put in the work, nigga. AEW has been a company that has spent all their resources getting to the moment that gets you there. MJF and CM Punk, they didn't have an end what after that. That's why they had two titles. Because they didn't think that CM Punk would garner the react. And again, CM Punk came in and was like, yeah, I'm not Danielson, nigga. Put the title on me. The fuck you mean? You see what I'm saying? So there are different egos. There are different avenues there. And you said deal with it. And that is fair for you to say. But when you don't have the personnel, we say that word a lot. We don't have the personnel when Regal leaves. And clearly Regal said that he was not involved in any creative process. And Regal says that he may not have any influence. But what we do know is that across professional wrestling, Regal has a gravitas around him that garners respect. And before Regal left, there was not a lot of, hey, what's going on with AEW's locker room outside of the Swole incident. Honestly, there was not an issue of leadership and as far as where the company's going, because there was some adult in the fucking room that people respected. And ever since then, BCC has not meant anything. MJF has not kind of like MJF and Regal was a story that they were telling in the ring. He hit him with the ring. Regal was on NXT, goddamn a month later with bro, and everything else has fucking jangled down. So I will say that when you remove a staple from a stack of papers, the stack of papers seems to be in goddamn order. And niggas is picking it up and goddamn it's 1, 2, 37, 50, shit, 17. They gotta reshuffle the papers, and I know you don't like to hear
well, you're
that.
bringing up Regal, which is like 2 years ago he left.
So, and that has
No, so
been the
like,
demise
come
of the
on,
storytelling of it. 2022, bro. Look,
come
2020.
on.
Hold on. When you
I
listen,
can't, yo.
hold
I
on.
get you. I
No,
really do.
no, I definitively remember you saying, "Hey, AEW, strike now. Swerve better be this in the
Mhm.
because they did not have any momentum or
And they
foresight.
did, and I gotta give them the hands.
But
I
when
always
they
give them props for that.
but when they did that, I'm telling you right now, they said, and you said, now Swerve the champion, and what? They like, nigga, we gave him the champion. That's what you wanted. So I'm telling you, bro, the
I'm not.
expectation
I'm
has
not. You're
been there.
not being fair to me because I've consistently given him praise for Swerve the entire year.
And say you
Everything he was
did.
doing.
No, I didn't.
Yo,
No,
I told you he's one of my favorite AEW champions. You're like, what? Really? I'm like, yo, the angles he's doing, the matches he's having, I'm really enjoying it. The way he come out on the bro. But my thing about Swerve is that it's specifically different than the other shows. It's almost like the Cody verse before. It feels like that was Swerve. It's like separate from the show, and it feels organic. It feels like he has input in where things are going. It feels like he knows where his character is. He gets who
how
Swerve is.
many people on the show and the things that you dislike and the things that you do like, there is a difference in who has the character that you are involved with. If niggas don't know who they are, like Jack Perry, I don't give a fuck about Jack Perry. And they have been shoving that little twerp down my fucking throat as a wrestling fan for 2 fucking years. The 2022 shit that I'm talking about, when Adam Cole debuted, his fucking first match was with who, nigga? And when I came and told you that that was the shit, you told me, oh no, he's a
Had a good
good.
match.
Nah,
Had a
fuck
good match.
that.
It's a TV
And both
show.
those characters have been the shit since.
But it was you can't blame Adam Cole and Jack Perry. It was
I'm
just a
blaming the
match on
company,
TV. It
the
was just a match on TV.
expectation,
Yeah,
the
I feel you. I
expectation.
feel you. I feel you. Adam Cole has, he's been injury prone, and it plays into it. Man, I just can't. I can't like go around in circles with these niggas. I can't. I can't. But when it comes, let me get this line out the my fucking face, man. But when it comes to the whole situation, bro, I my largest statement is that AEW has incredible wrestling, incredible wrestling that I think we're gonna see bangers. We could potentially see a banger every single week. But my thing, I've always said that it's hard to remember these bangers because everything kind of blends together after some point. I don't watch Collision. I don't watch Rampage. I guess it's just too much for me to watch and keep up with their product. So when it comes down to Dynamite, you have to bring me a storyline that I really care about. That really has some substance behind it. I think there are people that have the potential to do that in the Jay Whites, in the Source Stricklands, the MJFs, Adam Hangman Page. And I think if you do that with what you've done with Swerve, if you can replicate that with a couple of the newer talents that you brought in. I know there's been injuries. I know there's been some bad luck with AEW, and I try my best to give it some grace along the road. But when I get to Wrestle Dream and I'm watching it, and I'm like, yo, Hangman and Jay, why don't I give a fuck about this match? Why do I feel like this is kind of rushed? Hmm? Why? Why? Why they give me 13 matches and like half of the matches feel like they have no build or very little build? That's a problem. And I'd rather you give me 5 matches and a couple of segments and all that matters than to throw in a hologram match, the hologram and the Beast Mortos. Although cool Lucha Libre stuff doesn't need to waste my time, And I don't know their plan. I don't know what their execution is. I don't know what their strategy is. But it seems like they're losing support with their fan base. Not Don't take it from me. Look at the ratings. Look at the number. Look at the ticket sales. I'm not here to dogpile on AEW. That's not my intentions when I come on this podcast. But I gotta be real. And certain things hurt my spirit when I talk about it because it doesn't have to be so messy. It doesn't have to be so bad when I watch it because the wrestling is good. But when you are when you make a decision to make one of your biggest angles of, was it Forbidden Door, Chris Statlander's turn on Will Nightingale, and not but what 3 4 months later she's like, hey, I made some bad decisions, I started my way wrong, and i'm a I'm a good person now. When you do that and turn her right back and she's away from Stokely, it's just it just screams of dysfunction. It screams of, did you have any plan on this heel turn when you did it? Did you have a plan on it, or was it just to get the match between her and Willow? Like, what happened? It doesn't make any sense. You don't make a switch to that without a plan. And which, even if you, and once you make the switch, you go hard. You go full force. All right, Chris Stanley is gonna be one of our top heels by the end of the year. I'm not making this change unless we are all in on this shift, because it makes no sense that, oh man, we need a body. Let's turn Chris Stanlander within a week or two and have her go against Mercedes. It makes no fucking sense. If you're going to be a show that cares about wins and losses, then make the choice to fucking care about the wins and losses and stick to it. If you're going to be a show that doesn't care about wins and losses and is going to tell a story, when you make these turns and shifts, stick to it. Find a plan and stick to it long term, like you did with Swerve, like you did with Tony Storm, and see where it pans out. I like what you do with Mariah May, getting her over with the whole thing. I appreciate it because it worked for a segment of your crowd, and I was okay. They stuck to something, and it feels like they just, I don't know, have like ADHD when it comes to writing their show, and building a story and building angles, and there's only a few people on the roster that feels like they take their time with, and I appreciate that Swerve has become one of their biggest stars, and I'm really proud of the transformation he's done and where he's gone in the business. I'm really really excited for where he's going, continuing re-signing with AEW. I think AEW is a perfect place for him because he's cultivating more and more of his lineage and his legacy there and helping this place get elevated. But if they can take what he's doing and like multiply that to the roster, I don't know. Talk to him and talk to what he's doing and Hangman Page. And how did you guys manage to get one of the best rivalries of AEW history this year? And how can we do that again on the women's side of things? How can we do that again for our tag division? Why a Private Party? This is their first time getting a title shot, and you can see the fans were like on the edge of their seat, wanting them to get the victory, and boom, they lose. And what's next for them? They're probably not going to get a title shot for a while. Like what's going on with the tag division here? So it's just so many damn titles that half of them don't mean shit. Shout out to Hook for retiring the FTW championship because that needed to go. Finally, you guys listened. But there's still so many championships that it feels like they don't mean anything. Even defending the ROH championship on this pay-per-view felt like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And I don't want to feel that way about one of your major championships or any of your championships. So that's just my take on it. And I don't mean to beat, I don't want to beat the bush, or beat AEW up. That is not my intention. But I'm tired of saying the same things every single week. I'm tired of saying the same things every month about this product. And I want to come here and give them props. I want to come here and just say, yo, last night was a banger show. But having to just get the silver lining like I did with All Out, and like I did with All In, and how I did with the past couple of shows, and be like, yeah, let me not talk about these 5 6 matches, but these matches here, oh man, really good stuff right there, Hangman and Swerve. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to talk. I come to your show to watch about how are you producing wrestling all across the board, and when I am feeling like the majority of what I'm watching is just non-consequential, over and over and over and over again, I gotta check out because I realize, oh, maybe
So
it's also for somebody else and not me. If,
I've been listening to you. I was listening to and I just wanted to ask again. I'm at, and it's not a gotcha. This is not. I'm not. This is me and you talk. This is how we talk.
Okay, bet.
This is how we talk. This is how we talk. The expectation of you spoke about the Cody verse, right? The Cody verse is a spinoff of the Roman verse, right? Roman and again, we had to give that, even though it was good initially, we had to give that time to grow. And we gave it time to build up, and we gave it time to be like, hey, where y'all going with this? Hey, is this going on too long? Hey, what y'all doing with this? And they build us back up again. And they've been at a constant fucking for a minute, which then gave us the spin off to Cody. Because once Cody came back and
Let me just clarify that though, real quick, before you continue. I'm talking about the Cody verse when he was in AEW. Like, it felt like when he was on TV, it was a completely different show. But then when he was off TV, it was just like back to like, all right, everybody's getting their
we
matches.
can see that about Punk as well too.
You know,
We can
yeah,
see-
similarly,
we
yeah,
can see
you know.
about- we
And
can see-
mind you, all these guys have been in WWE. Now I'm seeing the same thing with Swerve. To Edge, to a degree, had the same kind of feel when they were on TV. The pacing of the show just took a slower pace.
Well,
And
because
you
we're
know,
also talking about people that have been produced, right? I listen to a lot of Corny, right? And Cornette was like, God damn, if a motherfucker can produce them, that goes a long way.
yeah.
Hey, you mentioned your thing was about J. Cole. Nigga, we first heard J. Cole, like, man, can this nigga get a producer, nigga? He can rap, but god damn, these beats trash. Bro, I'm consistently
Oh,
with
sure.
you. Producing matters. And when producing, it takes away. But you never not listen to J. Cole. But this goes back to a whole thing. I'm gonna listen to this album one time. Let me see what you got 1 through goddamn 20. I'm gonna pick those 6, 7 songs out that goddamn album. I ain't gonna and
you know what's a perfect example of that is? It's Will Ospreay. He's had like 5, 6 match of the year candidates this year that we can't even remember right now, but because he's been so great so often, you know. And he's one of those guys where I'm like, if they can just produce him right, he will be the biggest thing in wrestling right now.
but that's
Like dead ass.
everybody.
It's not everybody. No, it's not.
That's Mercedes. If Mercedes don't have creative control and goddamn ain't, because you just said Swerve know who his character is. We know Mercedes what she think her goddamn character is, right? So this, bro, I'm telling you, we talk about the word hubris all the time, right? The hubris of the Buffalo Bills it was Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Or the hubris of the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, I can roll with it, bro. The hubris. Hold on, let's talk about it. The hubris of the Dallas Cowboys is at the top. It's bad ownership. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. General managing. And at the top. When that trickles down into the players, when it trickles down to the play on the field, when it trickles down to you getting your ass beat 47-9 before the fucking bye. You're laughing, but that's the
No.
I'm saying it to say, like, I'm not saying it in my tonality to make. What I'm saying is, like, that's real. We see that in real. This ain't no fucking scripted sports. Goddamn, what Twitter say, niggas. Nah, nigga, this real life nigga getting their head cracked because the quarterback don't know how to motherfucking throw the dig, nigga. And so in wrestling, it's the same thing. When that is, and it's worse when it's scripted because you got motherfucking ability to change shit. Going back to, and when you are stubborn on what it is, because when you say to Chris, and that's why I say I listen to you, nigga, Chris Statlander was universally like, why the fuck she turned in the first place? So to your point, the nigga said, okay, I renege on that. No, don't renege on it when you didn't like it. Go all the way through with it. No, nigga, you ain't like. So it's and I know you saying be a man, stick on your shit. Well, if that's you,
like my thing is, did you have a plan when you turned her in the first place?
This ain't the Chris Statlander and Mariah May.
Did you have a plan?
They probably did, but if they probably did, but if you don't like it initially, my nigga, then I don't fucking go with it.
At least give it to the end of the year before you turn it. Like, this is
Bro,
weeks ago, bro.
again, this
That's
goes back to,
crazy.
hey, this goes back to a company that is, I hear you niggas. I created this PWG ROH independent. Everybody can fucking come and go show. There's no contracts because we don't win. This is the hubris of the company.
Yeah.
This is the hubris of the
So there's
company.
a fundamental issue with the whole way it's built. I get you.
So back to the expectations. Once I found out niggas was using Tony Khan as a goddamn doormat, I say, nigga, what the fuck? Bro, once Chris Jericho, okay, I get you. Chris Jericho, he leads you into the, but once that nigga started having mimosa matches, I'm like, come on now. Come on, man. Come on, man. This nigga having mimosa matches. He started having sing-offs for MJF.
Like, I'm tired of people trying to piss on me and tell me it's raining. And so, like, I saw Edge like a couple of months ago. Like, oh my god, like what Chris Jericho's doing with his learning tree, he's so good, right? He's reinventing himself. No, it's not good. Like, can we stop acting like the things they're putting their time into? Like, oh, let's give this some time. Let's give the conglomeration a lot of time on TV. Let's give, whatever the Young Bucks and the Elite are doing a lot of time. Like, without no like direction. Like, not that it can't work, but it needs like, okay, we're gonna get this payoff. Where the fuck is the payoff for any of this shit?
That goes back to who's producing the people, bro. That goes back to just like what we just said. The whole Osprey is not. We're talking about J. Cole album is AEW as a company. I'm not talking about just one wrestler, like you saying. That's a good example of Will Ospreay. No, AEW as a whole project, as a whole album, is a conglomeration album that I don't really. I'm gonna pick that album up because the cover is fire. And I know a couple people on that cover. I know a couple people on that shit rap good like a motherfucker. I know a couple sing. Oh, they got this nigga paired with this nigga. Oh, they got us. Nigga. But that whole album,
really good features, good features, yo.
Yeah, but that's
mad nice features, mad people that can really spit, rap, can really wrestle, really do some technical shit, some flip shit, some aerial moves, some freaking hardcore wrestling. All types of whatever you want is there, and they're some of the best at doing it. But when you put that shit together, there's no freaking cohesive storyline to it. There's no cohesive message. There's no cohesive theme of the album of the AEW. It's just like, here,
bro, nigga,
it's just a big mixtape.
Bro, hey, but that goes back to my expectation. What is an indie show? What's an indie show to wrestling, bro? It's a mixtape. It's GCW. It's for the culture, my nigga. That's what it is. And I've been from jump saying that this is a fire ass mixtape.
Stop telling me it's an album. That's what I freaking can't stand with AEW. They want to be an album so bad.
Bro, So Far Gone is a mixtape, but that shit treated like an album, cuz you can't say that, bro. Some mixtapes bang like an album.
I mean,
some mixtapes bang like an album.
That Dochi mixtape bangs like an album, but those are the ones that are legendary. Those are legendary mixtapes. AEW hasn't been that in a while. It hasn't hit like that in a long time.
Hey, this is why I say, this is why I try to always tell you, bro. Your expectation is what? DJ Clue and G Unit nigga was hot for how long? And then mixtapes wasn't it no more, my nigga. You have to do, and AEW has to get with the times and stop making mixtapes and make albums.
AEW has to evolve, and I hate to be harsh on them, but that's the truth. Like, they're losing their audience, bro. They have to evolve. And now Bryan Danielson, your best wrestler, is gone for full-time wrestling. We don't know when he's coming back. Kenny Omega's been injured, been going through his. God bless him. I hope he's doing well. So you're over here, and people get injured left and right because of the way you guys wrestle. Edge comes there, breaks his fucking leg by jumping off a cage, like crazy shit. I love Darby Allin doing great shit with Brody King. That was a good match, bro. Some risky shit though, And I don't want him to get hurt and go back out. Like I don't want Brody King to go back out. And like when I want to build Brody King up to be a new heavyweight champion, those things I'm looking at. I'm like, all right, you gotta evolve. Granted, we like spots where you guys can get blood. Let's do that in moments when it matters, when it's warranted. Let's do spots where, all right, you want the Young Bucks to do some crazy flips with this tag team, give it to us when it matters, and build up to it a little bit more, have a little more patience, tell something on screen on TV that matters, and then get the payoff. And I think I don't know if they ever will evolve. I hope that I'm still around to say, you know what, I'm tuning back in again. But for me, as Daniel Bryan stops being a full time wrestler, Chidi
bro.
stops being a full time watcher of wrestling right now.
I'm
Of
gonna keep it.
AEW.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. That's tough for you, and you can say that on you. That's tough to say. That nigga wasn't there the first 2 years that they was around. So I'm not gonna say
I'm
that.
not saying it's a metaphor. I'm not saying it's
No,
because
I
of
hear you.
Brian Danielson.
I know, but that goes back to what I'm saying. Like that goes back to my whole thing of like that goes back to what I'm trying to say. Your expectation of that I'm gonna play this all the way through, and they don't give you nothing that you can play all the way through. Is that their fault or your fault?
My my thing is about, like, I'm gonna tell you how I listen to mixtapes. I don't listen to mixtapes and say, yo, I want to play it all the way through. I don't do that. I'm like, yo, if you can give me three bangers, three that I really want to see, you got me.
That's what we
You
said
gotta
about
give me
wrestling.
no. That's
We said
exactly my point. That's my point. Give me three stories that I'm gonna tune in every single week for, and I'm back in.
they don't
Three
have
that
three stories right now.
they don't. They don't. They don't have. They have maybe one, like one and a half, maybe, that I give a fuck about. I don't care about anything on that show. It's sad. I don't give a fuck what Chris Jericho is doing. I don't give a fuck what Jeff Jarrett is doing. Brian Danielson and John Moxley was okay, and I don't get the reason why John Moxley just changed. I don't understand his motivation. I don't. Like, why hasn't that been explained to me? So now he's champion. Great. Salute to him. Congratulations, four-time AEW champion. He's been putting this company on his back for a long time. Shout out to John Moxley. But at the same time, have no clue what his motivation is. What's going on? And now we've gotten to the climax of this thing. He's champion, and I still have no clue. What is their mission? Like, so maybe it was getting the championship, but then after the match, you try to kill the guy. So why do you have to kill Brian Danielson? You've already won the championship. What is your motivation? Like, that's my issue. It's like you're just doing shit just to do it for, like, shock value now. Is that what it is? That's like why when I watch it, I'm just, even with the good things I like, I'm like turned off.
So can I again? I'm just. Can we fill in the dots for Kevin Owens, or do we know his motivations?
No, just like I said to you with him, I want him to say it out of his own mouth on TV screen. It matters, bro. Yeah, I was like, yo, that's why last year, like, oh, we already know, we already know, we already know. That's good enough for you. Last week I said to you exactly, no. He had a conversation with Cody. What did Cody say to make him do that? Maybe we will get it, maybe we won't. But we know that they took their
but the
time
nigga
out.
did it in front of the fucking Jakara match. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm gonna whoop that nigga
I'm
ass.
like, this is not the time. This is not
Nigga,
the
not the
time.
time. I do not give it. When you say give me an explanation, not right now. I don't care.
I'd rather see Jakara much more than I'd rather see KO. But shout out to Meta. But you feel me? Like they're not, but they're also taking their time with that, bro. So even if they don't give me like a full explanation, they have taken their time enough where I can fill in the blanks. And I think that with John Moxley is going too far to where it's like, all right, now you need to start filling in the blanks a little bit more. I think KO's enough. He's smart enough as a character to really break it down to us in a promo very quickly, whether it be backstage or on stage or in the ring. Eventually, I think we'll get a really firm answer from him, whether it's a promo with him and Cody or him and Randy Orton or him backstage by himself. He will say something that makes me say, I get it. But although we can kind of, he already said, okay, he turned on me, I didn't turn on him. We get his sentiment, but like, did he say something that to make you snap? What did he say to you that made you just completely go off the deep end? And I'm waiting for that, and I'm holding them to the fire on that. But at the same time, we've seen enough tea leaves that show, okay, we can kind of infer. With John Moxley, he came back out of nowhere and had a completely different demeanor, completely different mission, and was very cryptic about it, and has yet to really been clear on that. You had the whole Darby Allin, and you talked to Darby. I talked to Darby. Finally had the match with Darby. All right, Darby, I want your match. Took the match from Darby, beat him for it. Then now tried to kill Bryan Danielson, and then he did it again after he won the championship too. So I really don't understand Jon Moxley's motivations. It's like we're just doing shit for shock value. And I hope it's not that because I think he's a deeper thinker about what he does in the ring. But maybe it's not. I don't know. So
What has Moxley shown that made him feel like he's a fucking savant of wrestling?
I'm not saying he's a savant. I'm saying he has a reason why he does what he does.
I've never saw Moxley and thought he had a reason of doing what he did.
Well, the reason why Moxley cuts and bleeds in a lot of the matches is because his thought is he wants to make it more realistic. The fact that if people are fighting, sometimes people are going to bleed, and it doesn't matter what the storyline is. Sometimes it's just going to happen, and that's what was his thought process on that. He said it in an interview, so I understood his motivation on like why is he bleeding all the time, and I'm like, okay, I don't agree with it, but I get why he's doing that all the time in his matches. This storyline with Bryan Danielson. Why do you have to suffocate him? What is the whole purpose about that? Like you, after beating him clean in the ring, you got it. You're the champion now, and then you got to try it again. Like, what is the reason why you want to hurt this man so bad? It's coming out of nowhere to me, So that's where I'm like, even in your main angle, I'm a little bit off put about how you're going about it. So when I say a mixtape, I need just 3 real good stories or real good, songs. And I'm like, yo, I can listen to these for a while. All I need is 3 good stories in AEW, and I can't. I'm tired of not acting like it doesn't matter. I'm tired of acting like all you guys give me Swerve, give me a black champion. I'm just gonna take whatever you get. No, I need more substance behind the entire show. I really do hope that they get to the point where I can say, you know what, I need to see this thing with whether it be I don't care who it is. It could be anybody on the show. I need to see the thing with MJF. I need to see the next step of that on a Dynamite. I need to see the next step of what's going on with Swerve, and I need to see the next thing going on with Jon Moxley all on one show. And maybe the Will Nightingale and the woman or Mercedes. I got to see what they're going to do with that. If I can get that to happen to me this year, I'll be back to watching the show regularly. Yes, on one show. It could be any 3 of those things. It could be a woman. I said the woman because it doesn't have to be a man of the men roster. It could be a woman's situation, but it could be anybody. Even if it's fucking Orange Cassidy, if he's in a really cool storyline, even Chris Jericho. Even though I'm not a big fan of what he's doing, if he's in a really good storyline that makes sense for where he's at in his career and what he's doing with people and where he's going or who he's putting over, if the story is there, I'm gonna check in to see what's going on. And it's just been so lackluster. And right now they only got one, and it's really what's going on with Swerve and MVP. And they're taking their time with it, so I appreciate that. Other than that, everything feels like it's a complete mess.
Ospreay and Fletcher is decent. Babyface Adam Cole and MJF will be. You said it was one of the best matches that you ever seen and everything like that, and then they doubled down and had a second match that wasn't as good.
Man. I said it's a really good. It was one of the best TV matches of last year. It was. To me, they had a really good match. They went to a tournament draw. Go back and watch it if you don't fucking care. It's true. It's not hyperbole. I thought they had one of the best television matches that year. But also that's not entertaining to me right now because
your palate changed, bro.
Once again, no, my palate did not change, bro. I'm not the one changing, bro. What happened was the storyline made no fucking sense to begin with. They changed the entire storyline, and I was like, okay, so since last summer I've been off that shit. Then when MJF comes back as a babyface, he takes out Adam Cole, who's the heel, and now we're in a place where Adam Cole's the babyface and MJF is the heel. Mind you, nothing has happened yet with that whole devil angle that made me feel like, yeah, that was good payoff. Nothing happened. Nothing since with them has really been a good payoff. So maybe you can heat it back up with the way things are right now.
No, I mean they ended the. I mean they don't have to. That's what I'm trying to say. Like here we go. We're talking about it. The expectation of them building off something that they previously just they killed it off.
I'm not really expecting anything. I'm expecting them to fail more than anything. But what I'm trying to do is give them some grace and say, hey, I'll stay tuned to see if something changes. I'm not expecting it like, oh, if they don't do it, then I'm gonna be upset. No, I'm expecting them to give me more mid because it's what it's been, and it's not like I'm saying mid because I want to make it like an insult to them, but it is not great television they're putting on Now, if Adam Cole and MJF goes out there and has a freaking 5-star classic match, I'll tune in for that, and I'm probably gonna say, yo, that was a
The
great match.
matches won't be something you turn into. The promos will be, bro. That's how they get you into. That's what
You're
the
gonna
swing
be
of MVP is. It's promos. Like
Yeah,
so.
it's gonna be the
Sure,
promos. It really is gonna be promos. It's gonna be obviously what happens during the match or at the end of the match.
that's why
Those
stories in
things.
WWE get you. It's promos.
Yeah,
It's the ring
yeah,
interaction.
absolutely, 100%, 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
KO beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes backstage. It's not a promo, but it's something that was built up for time and then happened backstage and was done in a way that was unique. That's why I was like, yo, I gotta see what happens on SmackDown. Like, why is
Well,
KO?
I mean, to your point of three things, WWE only giving me two. So
No, they're giving me more than two.
nah, Punk and Drew is done. Punk and Drew is done, right? Now they picked up with Punk and Seth, but when is that going to happen? When Punk just stepped away, right? Punk got to regroup.
So you can't tell me what it is for me. You got to tell me what's you. Maybe it's giving you two things.
I just said it. I said for me, I'm speaking on me. I said I said WWE is only giving me two.
You said you.
Nigga, I'm speaking on me. Like no
Okay.
shit, giving me two. I didn't say giving you two, nigga.
You said you said you, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, I did not say giving you two. I said
All right,
WWE's
we'll check the
giving.
tape. We'll check the replay.
We can fucking check it. WWE's giving me two, my nigga. They only giving me two. The storylines of the progressives that they have, Cody and KO and Randy Orton is good. That bloodline shit, it gotta pick up for me. That promo that they have on Friday, and Jimmy like we need help, and the crowd saying yeet yeet yeet, and my nigga Roman saying no yeet. Okay, I ain't gonna feel it until I feel it, because we already we talked about expectations, right? The expectation is bloodline, war games. So I have an expectation. And as long as they follow the fucking script, then I'm good with it. I don't even need to check in on it because you're doing what I motherfucking had the goggles on. You know what I'm saying? Now, go ahead.
Like, I think the bloodline stuff got me to get the feels since Bad Blood for me. So when Roman and Jay had their situation happen that night, and then The Rock came out. Sorry, Jimmy. Excuse me, Roman and Jimmy. And then The Rock came out, and then we had the promo with Jimmy and Roman on SmackDown. I thought there's a lot of layers to the things that they were saying. I hear the subtext and the things that they're saying, and that's why I appreciate it. I appreciate it because he sets the stage for the night. Like, I gotta take on my little brother, and Jimmy, mind you, is he's really good on the mic by himself. He's like better than I thought. I think he might be better even than Jay. But when it comes to why I'm interested in it is because they're taking their time with it. We have a feeling of where we want to go, and there's anticipation. They're not just going to give it to us next week, or we're going to get Jay joining the Bloodline. No, they're going to wait and see what happens. Jay's on a whole different roster. How are we going to do this? They need more help. All they did is set it up with the "we need more help." That's all they set it up. It's, mind you, it's October 10th when this or 11th so we got time. We got like a month till War Games, or a little bit more over a month. So they got time. But we're here in October saying, hey, we need more help. Now the question is, how is Roman and Jay gonna get more help? That's the question from now until War Games. So that is enough for me. Like, so now, do I need to say I know what's going to happen at War Games for me to feel it? No, I have a feeling that they put enough subtext behind the TV show to say, all right, tune in next week and we'll see what goes on forward. So I'm cool with the Bloodline stuff. That's one of my three. Or I think they have more than three, honestly.
Well, none of the. I mean, if we're talking about the women's stuff, Nia and Tiffy doesn't move it for me. uh, like we kind of are we're telegraphing things, right? Is Tiffy gonna cash in? Naomi just had a how many times Naomi gonna have matches that she just beat Nia. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's gonna lead to a title match, right? That she's gonna lose, right? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Now the women thing for me, and mind you, it's not story for this one. I'm gonna be real. It's not story, but it's I want to see Damage Control and Jay Cargill and Bianca. I just like the wrestling. Bianca had a match a couple weeks ago with EO, which was one of my bangers of the week, and they stole the whole show of Raw to me. And EO pulled off a clean victory on Bianca, which rarely happens, and I loved it. So I want to see the match happen and see where they do because they have a lot of chemistry. So that's the match on the women's side of things. Clearly, we still got the whole Liv Nia thing coming up while they're keeping Rhea Ripley active in this and keeping her chasing Liv. So with Raquel in the way, obviously. So we'll see how that pans out. But it's really the tag division for women that I want to see the match that they're pushing. So we'll see where that goes. Braun Breaker attack Jay on Raw. Interested in that, and then we got obviously KO stuff that I'm really fucking with.
So you're the Jimmy that I mean I'm sorry, the Jay and Braun story you're intrigued by?
I How do I put this? I'm curious. I'm not saying like I'm super intrigued. I'm curious about where they're gonna go.
We
Because I
talked
don't
about
want I
it.
don't I don't want I don't want Jay to lose the championship anytime soon. I
We
don't.
will. We talked about it, bro. Jay gets the title just to have it. Braun gets it back because Braun carries the title better. Like
I think if Braun gets it back, I think it should be through interference from like a Solo or a Jacob or Tommy
why?
Tonga,
Why Braun can't beat him by himself, bro?
because I think it helps build a potential War Games match if that's the reason. So what I would like to happen is something happen backstage at Crown Jewel that warrants them saying, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna take you out too."
But why?
You
The
know,
story. The story is Jay took advantage of an arrogant Braun when Braun was the young. We talked about it. We and you had talked about it on the show.
yeah, we
So
talked
why
about
we
it.
can't build on that story that's just between them two?
We
Why do we
can.
have?
If you like it that way, I guess that's your
But I
prerogative.
mean I mean
I'm
that's the
saying that I would like to see if he loses it, not to be just some clean victory with Braun Breaker saying, "Yeah, I'm better,
yeah,
I'm
he
badass."
beat Braun clean. Braun did his
Yeah,
clean with
but I
that.
don't want Jay to lose clean. I want Jay to
Oh my
be
god.
looked at as a credible guy going into War Games if he is, in fact, joining his brother and Roman again. His cousin.
He's not credible because he lose clean to the badass of Braun Breaker.
I think that how I would book it, you can book it the way how I would book it. I would have a branch to get Jay from here to here, and to that gives them a reason to want to fight Solo and fight the Bloodline 2.0, the new tribal chief. I want him to have a reason to go say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and rejoin my brother and my cousin who manipulated me for 2 years. Or that's what I want to give him, a purpose, a motivation for saying I'm gonna join you guys, and I need to make this happen. So that's what I'm getting at.
But
I'm
this
giving
but
a
this is
through
how we
line.
have the this is how we have the disconnect in wrestling. As you're telling your story and how you if I were booking it, if you were booking it, that's how you would book it. And that's how it would be presented across television. I as a fan will be like, I didn't like that.
You really wouldn't like them
I'm
if
I'm
Braun's
just
running back through
I'm
interference. You would.
I'm saying it, what I'm pointing to is that we talk about wrestling subjective all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the context of what we're talking about is what you like in the conduit, the con to get Jay to back to that ain't got shit to do with Braun. What I'm saying there, and so that's where I'm saying that
No, my thing is, I would have it be a competitive match for sure, 100%. But I would have it, go to the point where Jay is like, he's not going down. He's not going down because he just won this championship. He's been going 14 years, no singles championship. I don't want it to just be all right. You won it. clean. All right, 2 weeks, boom, you lose it clean. All right, get out of here. Like I don't
But
think
what
for
when it's
me.
going to be in a more propelled, elevated storyline that gets him more traction than the IC title does? It ain't like we giving him the title and then casting him away. He's going to be right back into the biggest storyline that carried the
But
company for four
then let me
years.
ask you, then how do you get him to that story? More than, hey, you guys costed me something that I bled 14 years for, blood, sweat, and tears for, and finally I get it. And
Who
my
gives
little
a fuck
brother and
about the title when it's his family business? Jimmy and Jay are twins.
he's been
So
out the family for a year now. Like
hold
he's been out the
on.
family for a year now. Like what are you
They're,
talking about?
again,
He does. He
you
cares
and
about
your
the
brother
championship.
Azuka cannot talk for a year, but if that nigga call you and say, I need you, it ain't gonna be like, we ain't even talking in a year, my
No,
nigga.
in the storyline, he left for a reason. He's on his own. Storyline wise, he don't care about the family. He's been out for a minute. Storyline wise, he does care about the championship more. That's why he's been on this solo journey. So I feel like
Storyline wise, you are, bro, storyline wise, you cannot, I don't know what you're talking about. You're encapsulating this one fucking, you're counting this. Okay, I'm sorry. 14 years, 14. No, nigga. What made a nigga differentiate Jay from Jimmy was the fucking bloodline. First and foremost, the bloodline storyline was how we got to tell a difference between one motherfucker from another motherfucker. So for the nigga to say I'm on a solo journey, for him to even be on that fucking solo journey was part of the fucking story in the first place.
my point.
So that's okay. What that got to do with him? Goddamn, he didn't. None of his wins or losses. His Damian Priest World Championship, the goddamn Fatal Four Ways with Ilya Dragunov, the Triple Threats with Ilya Dragunov from Braun Breaker. He's been on his own. What I'm saying is, fucking in that story with Jay and Braun, and then we'll figure out the other shit later. But family, just like Jimmy said to Cody, hey, I know you've been around, champ. But this family business, tapped the title and went on about his way. What I'm saying to you is that I don't know if all of that family business drama, whatever the case may be, is going to be transcribed on television. All I do know is that all Roman has to do is apologize to Jay, nigga. We back in the motherfucking game. Point blank, period. If Roman can step down and apologize for him being a manipulator and putting him in a situation and everything like that, and if fucking Roman can apologize to Jey Uso, that's all the motivation you need to come back in the game. Because I'm telling you
Roman
right now,
apologizes, and then Jey Uso's like, all right, I'll
no,
fight with you.
I'm saying real life shit, bro. In the argument with you and your brother, and I'm just bringing me and you. We just had an argument, nigga. I had to fucking apologize. You didn't even take my apology, nigga. I had to apologize for the apology for the accepted apology, my nigga. That shit
Oh
happened.
god! Oh my god!
I'm saying that shit happens in brotherhood, my nigga. That didn't transcribe on screen when we recording. We didn't have no animosity or shit like that. We yell and scream at each other, whatever the case may be. What I am saying is that you're acting like an apology from a man that did you wrong. Don't just fucking wipe your hands clean and like we can roll on. That
If you
works.
manipulated me for 2 years and I finally got under your control and you apologize, and mind you, I'm doing good. Like I've moved on. I got a whole new podcast. I finally doing
You still the
thousands
godfather.
of viewers.
You still the godfather of my son, correct? You
hundred
still
percent.
you still the godfather of my son, correct? So if I
Yeah,
fucking call you and I need you, you pick up, correct? That
of
nigga
course.
still got nephews and nieces and everything like that. Don't tell me family business don't matter if a nigga apologize and I need you, nigga.
Listen, all right, but here's the thing. But let's say you say, yo, I need you to do Rhythm Wrestling podcast because these niggas talking shit about our podcast. What is the impetus for me to say, leaving my own success to then go and say, yeah, we're gonna do the Rhythm Wrestling podcast again and talk this shit?
Is
You
this
know?
not your podcast? Yes or no? Do you
Yeah.
still not hold on? Okay, so is this bloodline still not your blood? Is this
I'm just saying.
is the
I'm saying
I'm
if
saying
these niggas came and fucked up my shit, I have even more of a reason. And mind you, it's
no,
hard to put real life shit
no,
into this because
this is
because
real life. These are cousins fighting cousins. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm making.
All right,
That's what
so
I'm
for
trying to
you,
show
it's good enough.
submission.
So
I'm
for you, it's
all
good
I'm
enough. An
saying is that
apology
I
is good
don't
enough.
want them to
Because an
interfere with
apology is one
something.
thing, but him saying, "Okay, yeah, I'll fight with you" is another.
No, we're talking. You just said no. You're just saying. Oh, everything builds and builds. The first things first for a nigga to pick up the call, nigga. Hey, I'm sorry, nigga. Can we talk, nigga? That's 1 week. The second week is can we fight? I don't know. That's your battle. The third week, can we fight? I don't know. You see your brother get his ass beat. You see your cousin get his ass beat. The same thing that Jimmy did with Roman that you said you liked so much. It ain't have no context. Bro, Cody took the title off of Roman. They were fighting for 2 years. I'm the one. I'm the man. What was Roman's motivation to go back and fucking help Cody? Because his nigga said that's the right thing to do. It was no motivation for that. When Roman said that you in
Well,
my
there
way and
was
I want what you got
motivation.
anyway.
I mean, there was motivation. He just helped him defeat, the guys who he had a problem
Roman
with.
said
He
he
was
ain't need
literally,
no help from jump.
but he did it. Cody just helped him win that
Hold on.
match.
I'm saying I'm talking
Right
about.
after that, Cody's getting jumped. Literally right
I
after
know.
he just helped him get the victory, jumped through a table and everything. That might give him a little bit
But
like, all
that
right, let me go
stopped.
back and help him.
It stops after the match because Cody said, "Give me your word that you got me through the match." Roman ain't have to go back and attack Cody.
No, it
Roman
was a
could have
choice.
just went to
It
the
was
back and
it was a
softened up
choice.
Cody for the chip. Exactly.
But it was a choice, and that's the moment that Roman officially kind of turned babyface to me because
So
he
Jay can't
genuinely
have
made
a
it.
choice.
Huh?
Jay can't have a choice in that same type of vein. It's
Yeah,
a
he
it's a
no.
morality thing of I'm
If
seeing my
if
nigga
no, listen. There's many ways you can skin a cat. First of all, I want to say that.
the
Like,
same skin of the
time
cat.
out. Huh?
It's the Cody and Jay and Jimmy and Roman
Give
is
me a
the
second.
same vortex bubble of Cody, Roman, and Jimmy. It's the
All right,
same.
let me land real quick. I can feel you. There's many ways that can skin a cat. So I'm not saying that your way of just apology and he's back in the business, he's back in the family, back in the bloodline is bad. I'm not saying my way is bad either with the whole, you know, there's interference that gives him a reason to say, you know what, you guys cost me something, and then on top of that, if he gets an apology, it's even like, all right, let's go. But if he gets an apology from Roman, you know, and then he sees his brother's in need and they're getting jumped. His cousin is getting jumped. His brother's getting jumped after the apology, and he runs in to help him, like the way Roman did. I'm all for it too. Like both can work. I don't know why you're knocking my version. I think that it could work too, but I hear you.
I'm not knocking it. What I'm saying is more organically because Solo and the Bloodline they don't got no business with Jay. So for them to cost him the title is just them just shoehorning something that we know. So when I'm talking about the organicness of how things progress,
They bumped him backstage at some Survivor Series. They
they
bumped
not
him backstage, and
a
they were like, "Yeah," and they bumped him like, "You ain't
Survivor
doing shit
Series.
with us."
Nigga, War Games is that Survivor Series. What I'm talking
I
about
mean,
is
I mean
Braun.
SummerSlam. Sorry, SummerSlam. They bumped him at SummerSlam. They like backstage. They ran to Jay and they just like bumped into him, like yeah, like and they walked past him like you ain't doing shit. So they've already kind of teased that when they have these shows, they're in the same area. So my thing is backstage, Crown Jewel, or wherever they have the Braun and Jay match, they bump into them again, but this time it's a little more confrontation. And Jay's like, yo, talking his shit, or Jay maybe super kicks one of them and gets the fuck out of there. I don't know. He goes to his match, and they're like, "Yo, we gotta get our lift back."
That's what only reason why I'm knocking it is because it's convoluting the story of Braun Breaker.
Okay,
Braun as
okay.
a badass needs his fucking win back, and if he lost to Jay as an arrogant young fucking punk, and he recognizes mistakes, and he don't fucking showboat, and he don't take the straps down, and he don't go for the spear outside the ring. If
Them
he
scratch
come
them
and
down.
just want his title and mow that nigga down and win clean, that builds Braun more than if the bloodline interferes because Braun
No,
can
you
win the
have a
title
point.
after
You
Raw.
have a
You
point.
know what
You
I'm
have a
saying?
point.
Like
I
so,
get where you're coming from with the Braun thing because you're not harming him in his victory. But at the at the end of the day, if you want to keep him heel and not have people cheer him, then mind you can give him a heel victory for the championship. But right now, Braun is on the way of being a huge babyface. Let's be real. People want to cheer this guy.
is
You
he?
know, the
It
way
only
he's being.
depends on, but he's like Stone Cold. It depends on his opponent. Niggas
Yeah,
still booed
like
Stone Cold when he was in the ring with Brett.
a couple of weeks ago, he came and he looked at Gunther like, "Hey, I just want to see it in person." That's not my phone. Oh snap! This is your mom's phone. Go to your room. All right, I'll go to bed. Go to bed. Sorry.
You both mine. But I do. But to your point though, and to both of our points, that goes back to what you're saying about storyline and how someone writes it, how someone produces it, how someone executes it, and then how someone receives it. That's four elements of something that doesn't necessarily always control the other thing. So when we spent the hour and some change on AEW, that was my whole. That was. I mean, but that just goes back to what I was just trying to present as an argument is that even if they wrote it well to your liking, even if they performed it well to your liking, even if they executed what to your liking, now it's the audience of Chidi. And if Chidi likes it, that's great. But if they do have the ratings plunge like you talked about, so nothing that they're doing is clearly working, right? So the shit that they're throwing at the wall right now, that is them trying to say, they're trying to reach out to you and they're saying, hey, will you watch MVP and Swerve? Yes? Thank you. Okay, good. I still got Chidi around. Even if you don't watch the whole show, I still got his eyeballs on the show. That's a big
some capacity.
thing.
Yeah,
That's a
it
big
is.
thing. So, and that's why I made the comparison to WWE when WWE just needed to give us something so we can have a podcast every week. And they happened to do that. And once they did that and realized we was rolling with it, and we got a momentum behind it. That is what I go get the other one. Go get the other one. What's your problem? Hey, you go again on. Stop playing with me. Yeah, stop playing with me. Go get the red iPad. Go get the red iPad. Go. Go. Go.
Yeah, I know. I feel you on that. I get the whole AEW point.
No, it's not even it's WWE because they're writing well, they're performing well, they're producing well, and the fans
and
are
they're taking some risks
rewarding
that are working.
and the fans are rewarding them with we like majority, like you said, we like majority. Now you got to fix up the men's tag team. You do got to sharpen up the women's individual. What we're doing with Naomi, what we're doing with Liv. What is Liv outside of Rhea? Can we build challengers outside of her? What's
But they
Raquel
have
doing?
great stuff with the women's singles division. Like I love what Nia's been doing. I love Rhea Ripley. Obviously, she's a huge star, and she had a really good angle with her, Liv, and Dom. So I'm not mad at the women's division at all. Like yeah, they had their climaxes already pretty much, and now we're trying to rebuild the next story that we'll see with them. And I'm gonna be patient with that because it could take time. I
And
I
again, they have equity with you, and that's what I wanted to just give you.
exactly. Now
AEW
we're
doesn't
a
have
year.
AEW doesn't have an equity with you, and that's
Huh?
fine because that goes back to what I was saying. People have to build that equity back up,
Exactly.
right?
I gotta get to a place of
Right.
trust.
Bobby was
Hey,
showing his ass for us to be like, he's world champion, and then
yeah.
he defeats Brock Lesnar. Now, albeit it wasn't the clean, but he got a win over Brock.
Uh-huh.
Lost that motherfucker, but in an elimination chamber. But that goes back to
Uh-huh.
equity. We were always
Yeah.
apprehensive.
Then he won it back on
We were
Miz,
always
and then
apprehensive
held it.
from
Yeah, but
before, even
yeah,
when he was.
100%, 100%. Before that, yeah. But
We were
then he won
always
it back for.
apprehensive.
He won it back with Miz, and then held that shit. Beat Drew at WrestleMania, which I didn't expect. And then kept that belt with the Hurt Business and got his whole stable around. They put money behind him. They put time around him and had him in a stable that lasted like the whole rest of the year. And I was like, yo, they put some time around it and they built that equity up and made him a big threat. So I love what they've done with a couple of guys in WWE that have taken time with, and then once they've done that, then you could say, all right, I'm going to give some time to heat this back up. I'm going to give them time to make Rhea, and see where this story goes with Rhea, or where the story goes with Tiffany Stratton and Nia. Whereas with and even with Swerve, I'm going to give them time to see where they go with that because they've been really good on with him and AEW. But when it comes to other aspects of the show, I can't. I'm not patient. I'm not patient with them because I've been patient all year. I've been for like 2 years with AEW. To be quite honest, MJF, one of my favorite wrestlers, legitimately feels like he's just part of the crew, and that is odd to me. So I don't want to get back to AEW or anything like that because it's not an AEW topic, but that's I hear what you're saying when it comes to equity. But when it comes to WWE, they've really stocked up the equity over the past year and a half, 2 years, that I can take a lull for a little while and come back because they didn't have that before. Remember when Triple H took control? I said to Chris, yeah, I gotta wait until like he took control like 2 years around WrestleMania. I know around SummerSlam. And I said I gotta wait till Royal Rumble to see if I really, really, or maybe it was last year around SummerSlam. I was like, I gotta give it around a year, till you know um Royal Rumble to see if he really got the direction of the company right. And it took me no less than like a couple of months to feel like, okay, Bray Wyatt came back. A couple other things happened. That's all. And then they had the Bloodline, versus the War Games match with Sami Zayn, turned all that stuff I fucked with, and I was like, all right, they got my equity, So it took me a couple of months. I was like, oh, they're doing the right thing, but it's just with AEW is messy. It just feels messy when I watch the show. I feel like they don't really know what they want from the show sometimes. And there's some things that really do hit though. And it makes sense. Everything with Swerve has been on point, like all year, beat for beat. Only thing I didn't like is when he won the championship, they treated him like a mid card a couple weeks after that. And then eventually they got it right. They're like, okay, let's present him as the champion, and I give him grace with that. They got it right. Um, and in WWE right now, it seems like they have multiple people that are being presented as a star or next up, and they're very protected. Although there's WWE has a way of protecting people in a loss, even who lose consistently. They got things simmering underneath, like the Xavier Woods situation with Kofi. We don't know where it's going to go, but we do know that it's building and building, building little by little each week. So we'll see where that turns out. We got the whole Carmelo, LA Knight, situation going down. So we'll see where that turns out. But I like that it feels like there's structure, and that's what I've always missed with AEW structure. SmackDown has structure, Raw has structure. Speaking of SmackDown, 2 hours now. So now, I mean, speaking of Raw, I mean, 2 hours now. So now they got to even tighten it up and make it even more structured. As you see, CM Punk opened the show, right? CM Punk opened the show. He um he opened the show and he had a whole speech about how he doesn't know when he'll be back. I'm glad CM Punk is getting some time away after that Hell in a Cell match. Honestly, he put on a classic, instant classic. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with that. But when it comes to the production of the show, immediately after that, Seth Rollins interferes, not, like interrupts his speech at the end, passes by, gives him a shoulder bump, has a promo in the ring calling out Bronson Reed, and boom, he gets interrupted by Jey Uso, who then gets a moment in the ring to start, do his to have a match, start his match. So it seems like the pacing of Raw will be a lot more faster and akin to SmackDown is, and akin to SmackDown and what they're doing over there, as it is now 2 hours. So that's going to be cool to see how they produce and how they get all those superstars with the roster they have, the giant roster they have, to get the time, not the same time, but some time and congruency so that all the storylines grow. Because the Pure Fusion Collective? Are they going to be getting over? Are we going to see the Wyatt Six again? Obviously, are we going to see, Chad Gable and, these guys get the time they need to really develop the way they have been? So those are only my only concerns about Raw going back to 2 hours. But as for me personally, I love a 2 hour show. It's just 2 hours in, everything matters. It seems like everything has to matter for it to be on TV now. Like it is no like thing that they're like, all right, we're not going to we're not putting this on TV if we're not going to go anywhere with it. No this random throwaway segment backstage. Everything matters. So I really feel like my time is not being wasted.
Um, Well, that is it's true to say that because again, we talked about the equity and they build things. They build things on the show to make you care. From the Intercontinental title being on Gunther to it being on Sammy to Sammy losing it to Braun losing it to Jay. That happened all throughout on Raw. Um, when Rhea was the champion and then got hurt, they had the Battle Royal. Liv comes back, wins the title off of Becky Lynch, if I'm not mistaken. That's been on Raw. Um, the World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins to then losing to Drew McIntyre to then being on Damian Priest to then losing to Gunther via interruption. So Raw has built up equity of a show that allows you to care enough for when they do drop down to 2 hours and it's boom, 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 boom,
Exactly.
boom. It's a lot of things that kind of just fly through. Um, yeah, Christopher.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's just equity, man. And I'm waiting for um I'm waiting for see where things go with Gunther and Cody this week. So I'm going to gonna see where this goes because honestly I don't like I told you last week I'm not a big fan of the concept of them facing each other, but I'm waiting to see where things go with that. And they're gonna have a face off on Raw tomorrow, so I'll tune in for that. Um, yeah, man, it seems like we are both busy. Did anything else we should talk about before we get up out of here?
We should just give a quick shout out to NXT.
Oh yes, indeed.
Ron Evans and Randy Orton had a really good match. It was really cool to see Randy Orton give back the way he gives back now. We talk about again, we're giving people time to grow and mature and the maturation process. Randy's been given a lot of grace over his life and over his career and over his time in WWE. And again, um, the Riddle stuff reinvigorated him. The Fiend stuff kind of took some stuff away from him. The Cody stuff is really, really personal, impactful to him. So I think right now Randy is in a good space mentally, physically,
Yeah, it
emotionally
seems like
for
it.
him to kind of go down to NXT and give some real game to a guy that he's nice.
Yeah, yeah, and Savon Evans has some, bounce some, got energy, so they love him down there. I can't wait to see what he does and how he evolves down there. Um, Also, real quick, want to give a shout out to shout out to Stephanie Vakir. She debuted, so shout out to her. And shout out to CM Punk for being so instrumental down there in NXT, and he had an interview where I heard he put over Obafemi, saying that if he were to start a new like secret edge, secret, so straight edge society, excuse me, but something a new version of it in a stable, who would you take from NXT? And he said Obafemi would be the first pick. So him putting over Oba was really cool. I think he sees what everybody else sees is that this guy's a huge star.
Omar
And
losing to Tony D'Angelo is not.
he lost.
Yeah,
Damn, I didn't see that. No, I did not see that. He's been undefeated for so long.
yeah, he lost to Tony. D.
Championship?
Yeah,
All right. How did I miss that? That's crazy.
yeah. So again, we rose colored glasses. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. Nah, nigga, I be peeping. Shit be trash, nigga.
Oh my god! I gotta see how that happened. I don't. I must have missed that. I must. Shit. Thanks for telling me, bro. But
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spoil
man,
it.
no, no, no. It's a week. It's already passed. It's a week past.
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
I'm shocked though. I'm legit here on the podcast, hearing it for the first time. I'm shocked. Um, yeah, no problem. Can you close the door? Thank you. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm legit shocked. I'm legit shocked. But Man,
Why we got kids up at 11 o'clock at night, bro?
he don't got school tomorrow.
Neither
So
do these niggas. But I'm still. We are bad parents. Trying to get our goddamn wrestling takes off and these niggas is begging us. Come put us down.
let's get up out of here, man. Let's get up out of here.
Oh man, yo, shout out to young Gabe, Christian, Christopher. These niggas love blowing up. They'll blow up a show 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3, 2. Nigga, we had late night shows and I
11 o'clock.
Nigga, I'm like, what you talking about?
1 o'clock. What? The whole reason why we're doing a 1 o'clock show where everybody's sleeping is so that they're sleeping.
Yo, I be saying you do like this. I'm like, Gabe got up, nigga. Sometimes I don't even have a chance to get my finger up. These niggas just come in and bombard me, nigga. Like,
yeah, man. It be like that, man. But that's life, man. Anything else we need to tackle or talk about or mention?
No, Leo Rush and Shelton Benjamin, what happened on Wednesday, I'm sure of it. It was a backstage promo. Leo Rush signed his second AEW contract. And MVP like, he was like, I think my Shelton.
You're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up a lot. Let's just wrap this shit up. Leo Rush, shout out to you, Jeff Shelton. We will check you guys out on Wednesday. Maybe I'm not sure if I will, but I'm sure Chris will. So, all is love. Everything is wrestling. I don't know if Chris wants to say anything before we get up out of here.
No, man. I'm still choppy. Am I doing a robot?
Now you're good. Now you're good.
All right. Well, no, man. I was just saying we just had to shout out to Leo. Shelton might get it, or we might get a Bobby. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. That might pop a rating. I don't know.
The Almighty. We'll see. You'll see.
You know. Other than that, no, man. I think we good. Wrestle Dream happened. We got Raw tomorrow.
We got Queen Amanada and Monet. I know probably coming up.
Queen Amanada's fine, boy. For sure.
Yeah,
that's it.
All right, see y'all next week. All's love, everything's wrestling.
Yo, and the thing is, these niggas act like they come in here like they so sleepy. Watch, we gonna text each other. It's gonna be midnight before these motherfuckers sleep, bro. Still gonna take us about an hour. Melatonin, even melatonin gotta take 30 minutes to kick in.
That's true.
Fuck.
Peace out, y'all.
All right, man. Peace.